Welcome back. As we promised, we are going to tackle together or discuss together the most important points which were said in the speech of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi when he attended the Egyptian family iftar. He was very much keen to address the gathering and the nation, speaking about so many things not to worry about when it comes to our domestic files, and also to the surroundings and to the challenges. He said a lot about the Egyptian people as great people, as the heroes who really, without their sacrifices, their determination, we will not be able to overcome all the obstacles or to face these challenges. To shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you very much for being with us, sir. A very good morning.
Good morning. It's my pleasure.
Sir, let's start immediately with some of the most important points which were discussed or which were analyzed, to be accurate, if I may call it this way, in the speech of President al-Sisi. He was really keen to assert some points and to renew his vow to continue in the path of development for the sake of the great Egyptian people. But before that, he described the Egyptian people as heroes, and he really expressed his happiness to be with them in the Egyptian family iftar. How does he starting with that?
I am following word by word what the president is saying nowadays, especially his very important speech in front of the parliament addressing the Egyptian people. And he put a program of 10 points. I mentioned them in an article. I finished it a few hours ago for the Diplomatic magazine.
Yep.
On top of his aims is to continue very active.
We lost connection, but we are going to try to reach Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi once again. As we said in my intro, we are going to discuss together the most important points which were said in the speech of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the Egyptian family iftar. As usual, the president was very spontaneous and he talked to people in a very direct manner, whether those who attended the gathering or those who were watching on screens. Hello? Hello?
Aywa.
Sir, we are back.
Hello?
Sir, we are back.
Yes,
you were talking, sir, about
that.
the 10 important points which were said in the president's speech, which you finished in one of your articles, which I cannot wait to read, by the way.
Yes, on top of his priorities, it is our foreign policy, very active foreign policy, in order to maintain the relations on the international, regional, and bilateral level, to help ourselves, to help the Egyptian economy, to continue developing our economy, to serve the area and our region concerning the problems in this area, especially the Palestinian war. And then he started another 9 points about development, about the
localizing industry.
Pardon?
Localizing industry.
Everything. He talked about industry, agriculture, and services, that we have to develop all our ways and means for development. He talked about the young generation to take its part in ruling Egypt. He talks about housing. He talks about continuing all the programs to help the needy classes. It is a full program which really I was enjoying to retreat and to talk about. So we are living now the first few days of a new era of the ruling of our president, and I hope all success for his program and for the Egyptian people, where we are happy that the president is in a great belief in his Egyptian people, and I am proud of my country, of course, and of its policies, whether internal policies or foreign policies.
Yes, sir. What you've kindly mentioned, sir, is what was written in the official speech or the written speech of the president. But as usual, the president prefers when he is in direct contact with the people, and particularly the Egyptian family iftar included representatives from all sects of the society. He was that spontaneous, speaking about transparency, about openness, about asking even the media figures and the media outlets to let the people know everything. And he said why. He said because if the layman in the street knew the challenges we are facing and the changes we are witnessing, the great Egyptian people are going to continue supporting the state to overcome all the obstacles. And he said it, without the support of the people, the state can do nothing.
Yes, very important, and mind you that our president is a very good listener. He listens to everybody, and the national dialogue which is going on nowadays, he mentioned in his speech that we have to implement whatever the national dialogue asked for. This is a very good point, because a good policy is something good, but much better when a good policy is addressing the mass of the people, is covering all the needs of whoever Egyptian citizen, especially the needy classes. We feel that we owe them this. We owe them housing, we owe them good education, good medical treatment, and so on. So we shall continue this, and I am glad that the president himself is declaring this. The good thing that the mass media is telling all the Egyptian people about our aim and our goals. So we shall continue doing this, and it is the duty of every one of us to participate there and to give his opinion and to help whoever around us who need our help.
Yes, sir. And since we mentioned the national dialogue, the president was keen even to mention that there were 90 recommendations, meaning that he read them all and he had his instructions to the executives to implement them on the ground. And even he asked Mr. Diya Rashwan, the head of the National Dialogue, to continue with more talks, with more dialogues, and to get in more recommendations, because they are not going to be only ink on paper. These recommendations are going to be studied, well studied, and which is appropriate and suitable and for the best interest of the Egyptian people will be implemented. How do you see this, sir?
Yeah, I follow it with great intention, and to make it easy for all of us, I told the president once I talked to him that we are not waiting for miracles. What we are facing now is very easy to face if we can gather ourselves and if we can agree upon what we should do. So, because much more important than a good policy, that a good policy supported by the whole nation. And with this we can reach, of course, whatever goals we want. Of course, we have a very difficult days because of the international problems. What is going on in the many regions. Even our region, the Arab region, is not in good health. We are surrounded with problems in Syria and Lebanon, of course in Palestine, in Libya and Sudan, and all this is not easy to face. But with the countries who are still standing on solid positions like Egypt, I hope that we can make it easier for all of us, especially for those who need our help.
Amen to that, sir. And since also you mentioned keeping this balanced relations when it comes to diplomacy or to foreign relations, yesterday there was a very important visit by CIA chief William Burns, and the president received him, and they had talks on the latest situation in Gaza, in the very same time where we host talks to try to reach an immediate ceasefire with the Egyptian, Qatari, and American mediators. How do you see the statements which were released after the visit of the CIA chief?
It is another small story of success on the international, regional, and bilateral level. In the United Nations, we succeeded to have two resolutions. One in the Security Council asking to stop the war. The second is the General Assembly with 152 votes with the Palestinian question. But we have a small problem here that the United States and some Western countries are talking to us in a sort of a double-face policy. Of course, they are committed to the Israeli security, but they cannot bear the killing process which is taking place in the area, and even some Jewish communities of those wise Jews cannot tolerate what is going on. So here, the contacts with the United States, and especially the head of the CIA, is very important to put the United States in front of its responsibility in order to convince, and I think the United States is the most important party who can convince Israel whenever they want. So we shall follow doing this, we shall continue doing this in the United Nations, with the European Union, with the African Union, where we made another story of success, where the African Union is considering Palestine as a member of the African Union, although Palestine is not in Africa. And we have great support on the international community. We shall continue doing this until we put everybody in its place.
I hope so, sir. But I should also mention here that all the diplomatic efforts, all the efforts exerted on the ground, we did not stop even for one day from keeping our Rafah border crossing opened for humanitarian aid, and to continue with airdropping tons of food and medical supplies to our Palestinian people, of course, upon the directives of the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi.
This point I would like to stress on it, because some of our people are a little angry of our policy, asking for cut the relations or sending the ambassadors away. No, we need these contacts in order to stop the war, in order to allow the Egyptian army to drop the help by air forces. And of course, if we do not have direct contacts with the Americans and the Israelis and every party, we cannot do that. So it is very important to continue this successful process, and I hope this will be a way in order to help our brothers in Palestine, and we hope very soon to stop this civil war.
One final question, sir, and in brief, if you permit me. Nicaragua has hauled Germany before the International Court of Justice, demanding judges impose emergency measures to stop Berlin providing Israel with weapons and other assistance, saying that Germany is supporting Israel to commit genocide war. How do you see this move? As another way to have pressure on Israel? Or this is going to be in vain because Israel has nothing to do with international law or international humanitarian law?
Germany is another story. It has to be discussed in details. You know that after the Second World War, Germany was put to pay its guilt against the Jewish community. And I tell you a secret, please don't tell anybody. That this is one reason that the German, I mean the people, are fed up of this policy and they want to stop it. And I remember one foreign minister of Germany wrote an article in the Jewish Allgemeine, the famous Jewish newspaper paper in Germany, saying that the relation between countries cannot be standing on the feeling of guilt, but on exchange good relations and exchange whatever good relations it can take. But the sense of guilt which Israel is always squeezing the Germans to feel is not acceptable anymore.
Let's pray together that inshallah our Eid, Lesser Bayram, is going to come with peace, prosperity and welfare. Sir, happy Eid inshallah to you and to all our viewers. We were very much delighted and honored to have with us via phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.
The ancient Egyptians believed that life is nothing but a continuous circle of birth, childhood, youth,